For students who may be meeting you for the first time, could you introduce yourself and share a little bit about your background in architecture and BIM and construction project coordination?
Yeah, of course. First thing that I want to say is hello, everyone. My name is Espoir Joubouh, and I'm originally from Cameroon. So I hold a master's degree in architecture, and over the past year, several past year ago, I've worked on a lot of projects, uh, like architectural and construction projects, including residential, commercial, and mixed-use development. So through my career, I've developed very strong skills in architectural design, building information modeling that we are called in short term BIM, yeah, currently, or BIM in French, and some project related to the project coordination also. So I work with many softwares such as Revit, AutoCAD, and Lumion to design buildings, to produce technical drawings, and support plannings and collaboration with different partners in projects such as engineer, technician, and other experts what taking place in a construction project. Actually, I'm living in Edmonton, in Canada, where I continue to improve my professional skills while learning more about the Canadian construction engineer industry because it's really different to my country. I am also passionate about sharing my knowledge and helping beginners to understand how digital tools like Revit can make architectural design more efficient and collaborative. I hope that
Awesome.
my introduction are not really so if I want to summarize in one word, that's me.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So, what first made you interested in architecture and construction?
That's a really interesting question. Because since I was a child, I always been fascinated by buildings and the way city are designed. Yeah, I enjoy
Oh,
observing how empty land could be transformed into home, school, hospital, and public space sometimes. And how all this kind of building can improve the people lives in generally. And as I grow older now, I realize that architecture is much more than design beautiful buildings. It is about solving problems, creating functional space, and contributing to the development of a community. That's why it inspired me to pursue this career. I strongly believe that.
oh yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
inspiring. Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Okay. So you kind of already talked about this in your intro, but we're just going to dive deeper into this. So many students think that architecture is just mostly about designing beautiful buildings, right? And it is, but there's a
Yeah.
lot more to it. So can you tell me from your experience and everyone else, what does an architectural technician or like technologist actually do in their field?
Ah, yeah. Not at the very beginning, or you are not able to do all this stuff at the beginning. Because, like many students, I explored different interests when I was growing. However, I discovered that architecture and is to start learning more about building, design, engineering, and also construction. Because when you think about architect, first you think about construction. But we have some architects we are not probably design buildings. They work about sometime history, the legacy, how the whole building work and how you can easily the several techniques to maintain the building alive sometimes. And I know it was the field where we wanted to build a personal career. And I thought that the more you learn, more you are motivated to develop many skills. You can be technical and also creative at the long term. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So, if you have very strong experience with BIM, Auto CAD, Revit, Navisworks, and like Autodesk Construction Cloud, right? Uh,
Yeah, it's
yeah. Okay, yeah, that's really good. So, for students who have never heard of these, like BIM before, how would you like explain it very simply to them?
yeah, because during my university education, I have strong foundation in architectural design and construction principle that helped me a lot to understand the importance of the technology and the different methodology like BIM. Because many people have to make a confusion like BIM has a software and BIM has a process. BIM is first a process that we use a lot of software to develop a kind of um, particular way to fix a building by in first you need to work in your PC, your laptop, and after when you finish the entire coordination with the several experts in the project, such as architect, engineer, and other kind of experts like the HVAC, the MEP, and the land surveyor, you can easily have the 3D model who can be very efficient and help you to gain in time, in money. That is really important to make a lot of saving during the construction realization. So BIM is a methodology that is really help to put in place a collaborative process that improve the quality and the success of construction project. If I want to summarize this today.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Yeah, so you also supported a nine-story high-rise project with two basements using BIM methodology, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
in my native country in Cameroon.
Awesome. Yeah. So, what was that experience like, and what did you learn from working on a project on that kind of scale?
Mm, uh, First, it's a very amazing experience because working on a nine-story high-rise building with two basements, like you said before, was not only was one of the most challenging and most challenging experience in my career because at that scale, the level of coordination, precision, and the level of details is completely different from smaller residential or commercial projects. Every decision has a bigger impact, whether it is a structural design, a mechanical system, or a construction sequencing. From my
Oh,
experience, BIM play a central role in managing this complexity. It's allow her to, when talk about us, is my team, because I'm not the head of the project. I'm a simpler collaborator. I have the head architect with some very famous engineer of this project to achieve to the result. So BIM help us to visualize first the entire building in 3D, coordinate the different disciplines, and identify issue early before they became costly on site. So what I learned most on this project is the importance of collaboration, also communication, I think, and also planning. Yeah.
oh, awesome. Okay, so collaboration, all that's really important, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
basics of everything. So, from your perspective of things, like what kind of coordination problems can happen on these like large construction projects?
Mm, on large project coordination, uh, issue is very common because most stakeholders are involved. Yeah. Some technical problems include design clashes between systems, miscommunication between teams, delay on information sharing, and difference between related drawings and site execution. Yeah, that's the main problem that I remember on this kind of project, and when we need to exchange with different part of the project, such as architect, engineer, or some site coordinator on on the construction project. And
Ah,
that's why BIM coordination meetings and model review are very important. Yeah, because they help to ensure that everyone is aligned and working with the update, most updated information. Yeah.
oh, I see. Okay. So another question for you. How does
Yeah,
an
I
how
hope
does
that
an
I'm not very tech. I know that I'm not very technical to for our beginners.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Like, okay, so how does an architectural idea, do you think, move from like a concept or a sketch, like the basic foundational things, to something that can actually be built? What is the process that makes all this like become an actual thing that could be planned out?
That's a very interesting question because everything, like every building start with an idea. It can be inspired by the climate, the surrounding environment, or a specific problem that needs to be solved first. And the first step is understanding the client expectation and the site condition. Because you cannot directly copy and paste a project to a common site without taking in consideration the different aspects like the neighborhood, how the road that needs to be managed, and also the regulation to design your buildings. So the first step is to understand the client expectation, the site condition. Then we develop concept sketches to explore different idea and layout. And once the concept is approved, we create more detailed architectural drawing and BIM model using software like Revit. And at this stage, architects begin to collaborate with structural, mechanical engineer and electrical engineer sometimes to coordinate every part of the building. We also verify that the building comply the local building code and regulation because depending on the country, the city, the regulation are really can be very different. And after that, a detailed construction document are prepared for the contractor, and during the construction, architect and project coordinator continue to monitor the work, answer technical questions, and ensure that the building is constructed according to the approved plan. Yeah.
Ah,
So
yeah.
for me, architecture is really a journey from the idea to a real place where people will eventually live, work, and interact. Yeah.
Yeah, so like for these huge projects, I'm gonna assume like a lot of construction documents can be unclear and incomplete, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot can go
Yes.
wrong. Yeah. So what do you think exactly like causes everything to like just become chaos? Like what is the main reason that some things go wrong?
The main reason for me, I believe something will go wrong, as I said before, can be the miscommunication between the different experts on the project. If the civil engineer cannot understand properly the architectural plan coming from architect, they can create a lot of problem on site. Equally, if the electrical and other mechanical engineer are not follow well the plan, it can be a disaster on site. So the first thing is the communication to have a good collaboration. I strongly believe that.
Ah,
That's
yeah.
the key to a good project between the huge amount of money, between everything. If you don't have a good communication around all the experts who work on a particular project, you cannot have a good building at the end.
Yeah. Communication is key after all, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So, architecture and construction are becoming more like technologically driven, right? In these past
yeah.
modern years. So like how do you think tools like Revit, Navisworks, like Lumion, and all these tools have changed the industry?
Mm, Yeah, you talking about a very precious point because technology has completely transformed the architecture and construction industry. That is the reality. Because the years ago, projects are mainly developed using 2D drawing
Yeah.
in draw by hand. But today, BIM are allow us to create intelligent digital model containing uh, something which is really important, information about every element of the building. And AutoCAD, even if AutoCAD remain an excellent drafting tool, Revit helps to create intelligent BIM model. And Navy's work is used for coordination and clash detection. That is really different because when you finish your model with in Revit, you can even get some error. So Navy's work have the rule to see each if every kind of part of the building cannot directly enter in clash or in collision with another part or items present in the building. For example, if you have a wall where directly entering the door, it can be a really big mistake when you want to make your organization. And Lumion also, we're talking about some software like Lumion, produce very good realistic visualization. And you have some other tools like the cloud computing with Autodesk, construction clouds. We improve the collaboration and allowing project team to share information in real time also. But all these tools for you are not able to use it as a beginner. It's a very long process where from sometimes you need to learn some basis, how to drafting in 2D, and after how to understand how the 3D works. And after when you have a very good and 3D, you can easily make some rendering with Lumion. So it's a process. So
Oh,
when you try to join this technology together, you can easily help us to improve the communication, as I told you before, reduce the errors and make construction project much more efficient. Yeah.
all right. Okay. So, what tool do you think the students should learn first? Like, what of these very helpful tools? Which one should they focus on getting the hand of first?
I usually recommend starting with AutoCAD
Oh,
because it helps students to understand technical drafting and construction drawings. It's really important. Once they understand the basic, they should move to Revit. Science BIM has become the industry standard for modern construction projects. When you go to every kind of architectural field, the biggest one around the world, we have some CAD drafter we are commonly use AutoCAD depending of the size of the project. So it's a very important to join with Revit, like they are coming to the same company which is Autodesk. So it's really important. We can easily start to AutoCAD first. I can progressively switch to Revit. Yeah.
okay. So after all this like technology talk, right? Do you think future architects and like technicians will need much stronger digital skills than what was like before?
Absolutely. Today, architect need to be need more than to be creative. They must understand the new standard like the BIM, like the digital collaboration and data management. You need to develop that kind of standard to be more efficient while taking consideration also the emerging technology like artificial intelligence, like AI also. These skills will become even more important in the future. The architect now are not taking in consideration that kids are strongly at the wrong, follow the wrong path. They need to be aligned strongly to that tools. It's the future, like you said.
Yeah, like the future, right? All AI, huh? Yeah,
Yeah,
like you can't deny it. Every AI is everywhere now these days. Yeah, that
yeah.
makes complete sense. So, you have experience like tracking schedules, site progress, KPIs, delays, and like procedures and non-conformance reports, right? So, what does project coordination actually look like on a construction project? Is it just like pure communication, or is there much more than that?
Mm, Project communication is about making sure that everyone is working toward the same goal. First, on construction project generally, architect, engineer, and constructor, and also if I want to take also the supplier, because supply is really important um, on this kind of project, and client also have even different responsibilities generally. The coordinator had to organize communication, track progress, because it's important to follow how the project commonly progress daily, monthly, depending on the timeline of the project, and to monitor the schedules because we work with the schedule with different with precise deadline and follow the quality procedure and resolve issue before they become major problem. So good coordination keep project moving efficiently. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Um, how would you keep all the teams aligned then if you were like the head of things?
First, when we have a project, you need to be focused on the final goal, which is the building, which is the needs of the client. And when you take all this in consideration with several knowledge, you need to work together in perfect harmony to give our best to show that you are the chosen one to make the project uh, uh, um, at the end of at the end of the course. So actually, the main key to keep the different team aligned is first good coordination, good communication, and also know that the several experts around the table are the best person who can be able to make the good task at the good moment. I think.
Yeah, all right. So all these come with like a big cost, right? And to
Yeah.
save to like do cost savings and all these requires smart decision making. So one of your accomplishments involved helping save approximately 13,000 Canadian dollars by evaluating like service contract proposals. And what did that experience teach you about decision making in construction, not just for the profit, but for like everything to run smoothly as a whole?
Yeah, because that experience told me that good decision making in construction is not about choosing the lowest. It's not about choosing the lowest price. It's about finding the best overall value for the project. Yeah, because when evaluating different service proposal, I learned to look at the several factors, including technical quality, contractor experience, delivery schedules, reliability, warranty, and long-term performance. Yeah. And sometimes pairing sliding and more at the beginning can actually reduce the future maintenance costs and avoid delays. So this experience really reinforced the importance for me about careful analysis and teamwork because major decisions should be based on facts, technical requirement also, and project the project objective rather than the price alone. So if I want to summarize in construction, especially to that experience, this decision can every kind of decision, when I take an example that case, can affect the project quality, the budget and timeline. So I think I think to take it all in consideration before so making that choice. It's a big deal for the company because they have to save a lot of money.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a very nice experience.
So all the technical specifications from like the very base all matter during selection, right?
You're right. And the thing, if I want to add like a short story, At the end of this, my manager will be very happy. Then
Oh,
they give me a bonus.
oh, bonus. Oh, awesome,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
very, yeah,
All right, yeah, that's awesome, man. Like
yeah,
bonus, more money,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. So, you have trained professionals and team members in BIM modeling software, right? What
Yeah.
did teaching others reveal to you about leadership and communication?
One thing I discovered is that leadership is not only about having technical knowledge first. It's not the fact that if you are the good drawer, you are probably the good teacher. It's about helping others to learn, to grow, and become more confident first. Yeah. Because whatever I had the opportunity to support, sometimes it could be colleagues, sometimes it could be student and other professional. I help them to introduce some the BIM tool, which is Revit. And I realized that everyone learns differently. And some people understand concept quickly through demonstration, while others needs more hands-on practice and example. And all this experience, it can be very different, taught me the importance of passions, active listening, and clear communication. Because a good mentor doesn't simply provide answer, they guide people to learning process, encourage them to solve problem instantly. I think so. For me, teaching is also a way of learning because when I give knowledge, I also gain another kind of knowledge. And every question challenge me to think differently and explain concept more clearly. Yeah.
All right. So, stay on the topic of mentorship and experience. What do you think are the basic mistakes that beginners often make when learning BIM first?
One common mistake is trying to memorize software command without understanding BIM concept. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you want to memorize the software command, it can be a very huge mistake. And another one is to focusing only on creating a 3D model instead of thinking about how building are actually design and construct. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always encourage beginners to understand architectural principle first, because BIM is not just about modeling, it's about organizing information and improving collaboration throughout the project. So that is the two common mistake, in my opinion, that every kind of students where I had the opportunity to teach them currently makes.
Okay. So, not only do you have to learn, you have to understand exactly what you have to learn, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. In a nutshell. So, moving on to working across countries, your experience includes work connected to Cameroon, France, and Canada. So, what has working across different countries taught you about different architecture and construction across the globe?
Yeah. Working across different countries have told me that why the principle of architecture remain very global, very universal, I think. Because every country have the way of his own way of designing and delivering construction projects. During my architectural education in Cameroon, even if I have the opportunity during my education to learn by Italian Italian architect, I was strongly influenced by French standard European design approach through my university partnership in the University of Padova in Italy. So today, as I continue my professional journey in Canada, I'm learning Canada building code slowly, being standard and construction practice. So this experience has shown me that being an architect means to be a lifelong learner. Yeah, simply because every country has different regulation, construction method, climate condition, which is really different. and also client expectations. So adaptability needs to be very essential if you want to make that work at a long time. And also at the same time, the core value remain that mm, the same everywhere. I strongly believe is to designing safe, functional, sustainable, and you need to be focused on people. You need to be focused on the people building through always the effective collaboration. That's the key.
All right. Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what overall advice at the end of the day would you
Yes.
give to students who want to learn about like international career opportunities?
Mm, yes. Yes. Because actually, sorry, can you repeat the question? I don't understand very well.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no problem. So, like, what international advice would you give to students who like want to learn about international career opportunities?
Okay. Thank you for the question. My advice is to build strong technical skills, while also develop adaptability and communication skills always, and learn international software such as AutoCAD, Revit, and Naviswork. Also, SketchUp a little because these tools are widely used around the world. Because if I have the opportunity to exchange with you, is because I have the ability to easily use that kind of software. So I'm very resilient. So I have the opportunity to exchange with French, Italian, Canadian architect very easily and improve your English. And if it's possible, learn another language. Science communication is essential in international projects because I am from Cameroon. My first language is French, but
Oh,
I have the opportunity to learn English the better I can to be full operational everywhere, such as in Canada, United States, in other kind of country. And most importantly, you need to be curious and never stop learning. Yeah,
for
because
sure.
every new country offer opportunity and opportunity to grow and discover different way of working and become more well-rounded professional, I believe.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on to the topic of the future of architecture, sustainability, and STEM overall. Architecture
Yeah.
sits at the intersection of art, engineering, technology, and sustainability. It's like a very big building point, right? So, how do
Yeah.
you think the industry will change in the future? This is kind of like a last question, but on the topic of STEM, how do you think it'll change?
I believe the future of architecture will be more digital and more collaborative also and more sustainable than ever before. Yeah. Because today, if I want to explain, today architects are no longer to designing building in isolation. They work closely with engineer, constructor, and other environmental specialists and technology experts to create smarter and more efficient building. Technology such as building information modeling, artificial intelligence, and also I strongly believe digital twins also are transforming the way that projects are designed. And at the same time, the sustainability become a major priority because when we see the how the work are going around, we need to take more in consideration the sustainability because the future building we need to consume less energy, reduce carbon emission, minimize the waste, and create healthy environments for the people who use them. I believe the architect of tomorrow will combine creativity with technology to design buildings that are not only beautiful but also intelligent, resilient, and environmentally responsible. Yeah,
All
for
right.
me, that is my perception of the future.
Okay. What
Yeah.
role can young people play in the future of sustainable construction? What do you think?
Mm, what role? Sorry for. Can you repeat the question,
Yeah.
please?
What role can young people play in the future of sustainable architecture?
Okay. Young people have a opportunity to shape the future of our cities. They are growing up in the world driven by technology and innovation. and make them that make them very well placed to develop creative solutions for climate change, urbanization, and sustainable development. By learning digital tools, embracing new technologies, and thinking critically about environmental challenges, we can help to design smarter, greener, and inclusive uh, community, I think. So their idea will play a key role in buildings and in a for a more sustainable future. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. So, if every student like watching this interview wanted to take action after hearing your entire story and all your advice, what are three things they should start doing right now?
If I had to give students three pieces of advice, they will be first, build a strong foundation. Before learning advanced software, understand how building works, how people use space, and the basic of principal architecture and construction. Because if you don't have this kind of knowledge, you cannot be able to well draw or design a building with the use of the software. Second, invest in digital skills. Also, start learning industry standard tools like AutoCAD and Revit. Technology, because technology is becoming an essential part of every construction project, and these skills will open many career opportunities. You can work as a freelancer, you can work as a drafter, you can work also as an architect. Technologies and also as an architect, if you want to make a very big career like some famous architect like Frank Gehry, Renzo Piano, Jean Nouvel, and other famous architects around the world. And the last one, the third, stay curious and keep learning. Don't be afraid to ask questions, make mistakes, and improve. Every project is a challenge. Every challenge is a new skills will bring you a one step closer to becoming a very big professional in the future, the big version of yourself. So if I want to give three advice, I'm really sure that could be the three key.
Oh yeah, that sounds like what all teachers say, right? To keep all their students motivated. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So, what kind of small design or like BIM related project could they try out this month?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of cutting out. I think it's my network. What kind of small design or like BIM related project could they try out this month?
Uh, I will encourage to I will encourage them to design something simple, such as a small house, a classroom, and over redesign a room in their home house. For the beginner, the objective is not to create a perfect project, is to practice thinking like a designer, understanding space, functionality, and how different building elements work together. Because every great architect starts with a small project before taking on larger one. You can easily begin today with a small kitchen to finish in the future with a big skyscraper. Why not?
Yeah, super motivational.
Yeah.
I feel it here. Yeah. All right. So, as we come to an end of our podcast session today, if you had 60 seconds to speak directly to students interested in architecture, engineering, construction, or technology, what message would you leave them with?
60 seconds?
Yeah, like sort of, like more or less, you know.
I try to make my best. But if I want to speak 60 seconds, don't wait until you feel ready to begin. Start where you are with what you have. Every expert was a beginner before. Architecture is much more than designing buildings. It is about solving problems, improving people's life, and creating space that make our community safer and more sustainable and more inspiring. Keep learning, stay curious, don't be afraid of challenges. Every sketch you draw, every software tool you learn, and every project you complete is an investment in your future. Yeah, this week I challenge you to observe the building, in your neighborhood, for example, a very simple exercise. Ask yourself why it was designed that way. How was it built? And what you will improve. That simple exercise is the first step toward thinking like an architect. Yeah. I hope to see some of you to become whatever, an architect, an engineer, and whatever will shape the city of tomorrow. And I will end by thank you.
All right. Yeah. Awesome.
And yeah,
Yeah. All right. That's
and
awesome.
the
Okay.
very best on and the very best